Today's guest went from collecting trash in South Carolina to teaching inside and retaste the real world.
You need to identify what actually, I call it money-making moves.
Now a professional copywriter and email marketer.
You need to stand out through actually taking some time and identifying how you can clearly help that person.
He's generated millions for clients while his students pocket tens of thousands every month.
And then the next thing, and this has made me a lot of money.
Online, he's known as Manibэг, Dilana Мэдден. Nice to meet you, my man.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah, and my brother, a lot of people speak with you and they talk about business, how to start, earn a lot of money. And that's one concern when they have about you. But today I'd like to go from the another angle, from the another perspective, and try to speak first about who you are. Because we always, when we meet successful person like you, right, who build crazy network, a lot of people around, and got a lot of money too, what was the a foundation of this, right? And I want to know first thing first, a little bit more about your childhood. I was digging a little bit, I didn't find anything, interesting about what was there back in the day in his life to find that, what made him to become the motivation, for you to become who you became ultimately. Give me a little bit more about what made you to become this Manibэг guy.
Yeah. So, my early upbringing, you could say I was raised in poverty. I won't name the specific family member, but was definitely below the poverty line. And then I ended up moving in with another family member, my dad, and he, you could say, was upper middle class. So very early on in my childhood, I experienced poverty. Then I also experienced what having money would be. So just that, and then also my dad super worked hard, but I saw yes, it's very important to have money, but simultaneously it's important to have freedom. Because he was always, he missed every game, missed everything, anything the family's doing. He was always away working. So I would say that was definitely the foundation of, I can't be poor. I need to make money, but I need to make money in a way to where I'm not trading my soul and have zero freedom. So yeah, that's pretty much my childhood. I had a very good childhood, all in all. Being able to experience both of those. Example, my mom, even though she might not have had that much money, she also gave me tons of love, kindness, all that type of stuff. So it's early on understanding how the world operates. There's clearly certain people that understand things that other people don't. Okay, what is that? So I was always very inquisitive. And funny, this is kind of funny. I get paid to write. I get paid to speak. But I couldn't read until I was second, third grade. So I failed second grade because I could barely write. I couldn't read. Wow. And that kind of put a chip on my shoulder early on. But then I realized oh, wait, if I apply my mind to something, I'll figure it out. Because even though I got held back, the year after that, I got the highest honors. It was elementary school, so it doesn't mean anything, but the highest honors in that school. So yeah, my life has just been continuous fighting towards going to that next level, sometimes feeling like I was falling behind, but then realizing, oh, wait, if I just believe in myself and put together a plan, go after it, everything seems to work out. And yeah, that was my entire childhood, even my early to mid-20s.
But did you have actual dream when you were a child? Because, something made you to become who you became ultimately, what I said earlier, right? I just want to know what's the trigger of your childhood? What helped you to be hungry, to find something, to search the way, maybe to meet some people? What's that?
I never felt like I fit in with most people, to be honest. I always felt like I was kind of the black sheep. That's what I don't know if you have that where you're from, but in America it's called the black sheep. Yeah. I always felt like I was a black sheep. Early dreams, really, I just wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be able to meet cool people, interesting people, like we were talking about that yesterday, and do it in a way to where I didn't have to worry about clocking into a job every single day. And I would say a pivotal moment, because I was already on this path. I was always interested in business and all that, was seeing a family member of mine get cut. They were about to retire in a couple of years. They lost a massive, massive payday. The company basically gave all of his life to this company. Company got bought out. The owner, his best friend, made hundreds of millions of dollars, and then he got cut. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to figure something out. So yeah, it was just a bunch of different interactions with people, and I started getting into. Do you remember blogs? This is a very old thing. Blogs, back whenever I got started, blogging was the thing where, and people, there was a guy named Victor Pride. He was running a blog from somewhere in Southeast Asia, making money. I was like, maybe I can start building some kind of online business, because I'd done all the offline stuff by this point. And so started my first blog, started doing affiliate marketing, started testing all these different things. And Yeah, I tell this to my students all the time. Experience breeds confidence. So it's about actually getting out of your head and going out there and testing different things. And once you find a little bit of success, just doubling down on that. So,
but is it necessary, you think, to go through the painful experience? Is it necessary or not? Because, all the stories about successful people about I lost everything, then I started to consider everything. You teach people to do not make these mistakes, right? You teach them the right way how to do it properly.
Right.
But what do you think about people making the mistakes? Is it necessary or not?
It's more so about all of us have certain problems, certain things we're trying to overcome, challenges, but it's about finding people, example, what we do inside the real world, where I'll be like, okay, here's what not to do, here's what to do, just double down on that. And then we provide the community aspect where we can answer your questions and help you. So it's not as much about avoiding all the mistakes. I don't think that's possible. Mistakes will be made, but it's about really dialing in on what actually matters and being able to learn from other people so that you can just skip all the time wasting. It was like 5 or 6 years that I was like struggling. And then I finally started figuring things out. And then I became an overnight success. So on my end, for like students of mine or people that find me on social media, I like to kind of cut that in half. So instead of you having to go and take like 5 or 6 years, you might struggle for 12 months, but if you keep showing up, you're going to skip way past everybody else. So I think the suffering is definitely an aspect of it, but I think most people in today's world, they suffer from too many different opinions. It's just a bunch of noise or shiny object syndrome. Like if I get on social media right now, it seems that there's like a 16-year-old making $110,000 a month for TikTok shop. I'll scroll and see this person started a business today. I've already closed 5 clients. Like it's for the average person, that'll drive you crazy. In time, as you start becoming successful, you realize that most people are just talking a whole bunch of nonsense. And the business in and of itself is kind of hard. So you just accept, like, business is hard. Every business model works. I just need to find a way to be the best at what I specifically do and then double down. Like on my end, I used to write blog articles for people. So like people would pay me to write their articles for their websites. And I'm skipping past probably a year and a half, 2 years. Eventually it's like, why don't I just focus on writing emails for clients? And I identified that a lot of people didn't have welcome sequences. They didn't have proper tagging. They were just writing an email like once a week. So I started doing daily emails. So I found a problem, I identified it, I leveraged my skill set, and I just focused on that. And I was able to go from making a couple grand a month to my first 6 figures in less than a year. So it's like, you really just need to dial in, and you have to do your best to learn from other people that are actually doing what you want, instead of, like, example, your family. Though everybody will have an opinion. Like, does this person actually live the life you want? If not, you could hear it if it's your family, short. Hear them out, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't be sitting there super overthinking everything. Like, their opinion is just nonsense.
Yeah, and one more personal question I'd like to ask you there, because you said me also personally, right? Like yesterday too, you face definitely some business challenges, right? And you used to work with them. When you try to grow, you will anyway face some challenges, some issues there where you have to solve, right? And I know you rely on yourself, right, in all these issues. But what about your personal things? When you face some personal moments, right? I don't know, relationships or something like that, what nobody knows behind the scenes, all these things, who you speak with?
I won't name drop the person just in case the Matrix is watching. But no, I've got very good people around me, very good people that I trust completely. They trust me. And so I can, if there's anything, whether it's personal, whether it's business, whatever it is, I know I can count on that person. And so I think it's very important, especially in the early days and as you start becoming a success, actually having people around you that they're not with you just for the money. They're not just with you for something that they can get out of it. They're actually there for the vision, the purpose, and having good, important people around you. So yeah, I definitely have people around me that are very good. I won't name drop, but yeah.
But it's great to know that you have these people, because when you don't have these people, they start to look for the, alcohol or something, where they will find this a reload, some kind of when you have problems, try to forget about them and then find already answer,
Yeah.
But the thing is about you, it's not a sugar coating on something, right? We sit yesterday together. I didn't know who I meet, right? Because I just, I fly away, from the Slovakia here to meet with you, speak. And I understand you immediately as a person. When I was watching you, I couldn't understand, like who you are exactly. When you meet with person, all right, you already see the way how he speaks, how he talks, all these things. And you're like a truly good person for me, For somebody, maybe you're not good, right? But for me, you're a generous person with who I'd like to speak, spend time. And in the same time, you already built yourself with the money. A lot of people have changed because of the money. Yeah. Why do you think you didn't change?
Good upbringing. Like I said, my mom, shout out to my mom. I know she's going to watch this. She put good morals into me. My dad put good morals into me. But also, at the end of the day, I think money, it doesn't necessarily change somebody. I think it amplifies who they already are. And so, if you're naturally a good person, if you're naturally generous, I think money will just make you more kind and more generous. If you're kind of a very selfish person where you just think about how can I screw people over, and then you get money, it's going to amplify that. So I wouldn't necessarily say that money directly changes somebody. I think it really just reveals more of who they are. I've experienced that many times, people that were super kind and generous as well, and then they start making more money and they find, how can I help out this person? How can I help that person out? Or you'll see people on social media, like some of these influencer types, that they're just not a good person. I won't name drop anybody, but they're just not good people. And then they start getting some clout. They'll start streaming and making more money, and then they have breakdowns. One of them right now in the Philippines is going away for 24 years. So he's just harassing people. He was already not the best type of person, and money just keeps making him get worse and worse and worse. And then he has his downfall again. So money at the end of the day, I think, just amplifies more of who you are.
All right. That means what I'm asking the question, do people change? You'll say no, right?
No. I think it just amplifies who you are.
And everything starts from the childhood, you think, from the parents, how they bring you. That's the foundation, right?
That's a huge aspect of the foundation, yeah.
All right, cool. And just here's another thing also, I found this person because I teach people, right? I have people every day in my gym, I teach them, and I know that's impossible to do something, a day by day on the daily basis when you really do not like it, right? Only if it's money, right? The money question. I see a lot of people burn out, right? They saying me, all right, I have 10 grand in the office, but I hate my colleagues. I hate everything what I do. And people cannot find them themselves. Yeah, they can't find themselves because they're always they do what they do not like to do.
Right.
And the question is, you said to me you work every day 14 hours, right? You love to teach people in the real world, right? You give them knowledge, you do these live streams, you text people, answer questions, right? And what we found, basically, it calls the Solomon's paradox. The thing is, when you're so good in helping others with the advice and tips, but in the same time, once you face already crucial situation, you cannot help yourself, and you're just getting a little bit, frustrated, what to do, what I have to do. Do you ever have this when with others you're very good and you're really professional, a problem solver, but with your things, you're not so good sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I've even said this publicly, the reason I'm so good at helping other people and teaching certain people is I've faced everything I teach students. Example, overthinking. Used to be a massive overthinker. But I'm not perfect at the end of the day. So I definitely face certain issues in my own life. As an example, yesterday, mobility. That's something I need to fix. So shout out to you for that. So there's definitely situations in my life where I've got my own personal challenges or whatever, and I don't take my own advice. I know I should be more flexible. I should be doing all that. So, and at the end of the day, it's just being human. And that's something I try to teach my students as well, is stop trying to just create this perfect image that you sell online. Be authentic, be you, share the ups, the downs, and just focus on the mission, focus on the value.
Yeah, and you mentioned right now the mission, right? Because as you said, my mission, right? You came to train with me, right? And I started to give you stretching, mobility, flexibility drills, and you found this very strange because you expected me to give you immediately some boxing drills. Yeah. What I hate so much, I hate this type of the old school because they have no connection with the actual knowledge. The same with the social media, right? Exactly what you mentioned, the blogs time, when people could just talk on the camera. It doesn't work anymore, right? Industry is growing. When we talk a lot of people right now, they work for the marketing, right? The industry is growing every minute. The same with the boxing too, with the scientific approach. And I try to bring this. My mission is to build a healthy boxing approach for you to become strong and never injure yourself. But what's your mission?
My mission at the end of the day, I mean, it's multifaceted because I've got different, like I've got the YouTube side, the Instagram side, I've got 2 different campuses. But at the end of the day, it's just getting people to, number one, believe in themselves. Number two, the second thing would definitely just be to create their dream life, whatever it is. And that's another thing I'm a big supporter of is like, people think it's like the supercars, the Rolexes, the endless travel. Like, what do you actually want? So I really, part of my mission is getting people to be very clear on what they want out of life and then believing they can actually go out there and do it and then being consistent. I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. Like, because too many people in today's world, like we were talking about earlier, social media, they just buy into all these, what I call psyops of this is the only way to, example, dating. This is the only type of dating. This is the only type of way of making money. This is, all that's nonsense. Like, what do you actually want? So if I wanted to boil all that down, it's just getting very clear on what you want and then going out there and building your life. And then through YouTube, through X, through Instagram, through the real world, I help facilitate that.
Yeah, and you see, you mentioned, right, that a lot of students, they are really focused, right? You said to me this also yesterday. Guys, they're typing every day, they're on missions, how they accomplish them. And it's so crazy to observe, right? Like the huge community where people try to support each other when they see, all right, 100 guys before me, they've done it already. They've sent, like a 5 hours already mail into the people. They've been working, And the question is, what personally, you know what I mean? What person makes you to stay so productive and focused? Because, as I said, you're doing a routine, right? Also, you're successful, but you have to do every day the same, teaching. What helps you to stay so much focused and dialed?
Once you reach a point in life where there's no other option, it becomes like you'll go crazy if you have all these different options open and you'll be working, but then you're thinking about this and this and this and this. For me, this is what I'm doing. And I'm very focused on that. There's no other possibility. So on my end, I don't have all these like endless loops in my mind of all these different things I need to be doing. I'm very clear on what I need to do. But simultaneously, this is why it's also good to have good people around you. Like, it's very easy for me to find the motivation to work when I've got a good team around me. I've got family. I've got friends, new friends. So that type of stuff motivates me. And then also, time's going to pass regardless. So I may as well make the most out of today. Like, I mean, think about how many times you've been sitting there like, oh man, that was 3 years ago. Like, time just flies by. So I may as well make the most out of today. And the best way to do that is not to get into all the distractions, like going clubbing and going here and going there. Like, focus on training, focus on working, have some fun in between all that, but just get the most out of the day. And when you live day to day like that, it's very easy to be focused and locked in, as they say.
Yeah, that's the big difference. It's what I mentioned before between you and others who I know, like some our mutual mates or something. I see how guys are living life, right? We just call it, in the like a Russian style. Let's say they live the life on the white foot, right? When you try to do not limit yourself with your actions when you just get money. And you try to show others that you got this money, you know what I mean? But for me, let's say the moment when I started to realize everything differently was my a child born, Once I just got my daughter, wow, my life has changed so much because that, the moment that already was dedicated, right? But then I realized I have to be more dedicated.
Yeah.
And it became the thing that already probably even dangerous with the work, right? I started to so much work hard to find something, also in our influencer world, right? That one of the way when you just find for the partnerships, right? It's also the hard thing, I think, in the real world. You have to also speak about this. When you already grew up so much, what to do next? For the guys who has million followers, because they're guys in the real world who manage, big pages, right? And what to do, how find their partnerships is very hard. And you need to be very dedicated with the, with the search and different partnerships there. And once we mentioned there these big pages, influencers, what do you think the main secret you think about building personal brand? Just give me, 2 or 3 things or one main and then sub things about secret about building personal brand.
Yeah, so most people make a mistake whenever they're building a personal brand. They try to be either one, completely normal. Like, example, they'll post what they ate today. Like, nobody cares about that. Like, until you've actually, I could post something about you and I at some cool Georgian restaurant. That's unique. That's interesting. But nobody cares you went and ate at McDonald's or whatever. Nobody cares about that. So they try to operate like a completely normal person. They don't add anything to the viewer's life. And then the second thing, this is a big one, is they give up too soon. Like instead of really dialing in, figuring out, okay, what are the core themes of my brand and just ramming that hard, like just going hard with that, they'll do it for like a week, 2 weeks, a month. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm only getting 50 views. Maybe as well just quit now. So most people that fail when they're building a personal brand is they don't see it as a constant evolving entity, a brand that they're building. They just look at the short term, and it'll be like a month in, oh, okay, I don't have thousands of followers, I'm just going to quit. And hands down, that's like for most people watching this, they give up too soon. Just really get clear like on 3 main themes you're going to discuss and just become an expert in that. And ideally, it's something you've already fixed yourself, or if you're building a service-based business, show people that, okay, I'm the best video editor. Shout out to your brother. I'm the best video editor. I do this, and become an expert in that field, and just keep ramming that. And also, don't focus on trying to be famous. So many people just want to be famous. That doesn't guarantee you're going to get paid. Like if you have a targeted audience of people, with whatever it is. One of my students, I won't name drop. Yeah, he makes $30,000 a month. He's a golf expert. He lives in Dubai. I just met him in Dubai a couple months ago. Makes $30,000 a month, him and his brother, and all their videos are him hitting golf balls. That's it. And so it's not that you have to be super famous. He's not a massive account. He's got a solid account, but he's making good money. $30,000 a month is very solid.
Yeah.
So just stop trying to be famous. Stop trying to be everything. Stop trying to just post content to post content. Really dial in on the core themes of what your brand is about and just become that guy or that girl for those.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have a question to you.
Yeah.
Look, for example, there in the boxing, what I could do, right? When I teach people, for example, how to learn online things, you can record yourself how you're hitting the boxing bag. Then you can watch the video of the professional boxer and just like make all right, that's me, that's him.
Yeah.
And you can understand the same when you are the audio producer, right? You made the song. Then you can turn on the song of the, professional musicians, right?
Yeah.
And compare the sound. If you sound like that, all right, you're good maybe. But what about this type of for example, editing or like this type of the vlogs? What people have to watch for them to understand, all right, this is ideal, and what I have to strive to be closer to that. What's the, the example, let's say?
So you're talking about as a video editor.
For example, let's consider them. Yeah.
You're the video editor, and you're creating content as a video editor?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, video editors specifically, the content that works best for them is, like you were saying, the before and the after. Like those videos do so well because you can show a client, or you can find some random video on YouTube, edit it. This is what it was before, this is after. And talking about that type of content and then explaining like how to come up with a good hook. Or you can start doing examples of other people's videos you might want to work with. You can tag them in the stories. So yeah, does that answer your question?
I mean, for me, basically the thing that, for example, when you, let's say they're like about the email marketing, right? For example, you're about to create a mail, right? And you already have rules, but imagine that you've done something like that your mail is still shit, right? What's the example for people to watch? For example, they can, watch their the top example of the best mail, right?
So,
how they can compare it themselves with who they have to compare themselves.
Okay, I understand. So example, if you're doing email or really anything, just find some of the top people in that industry, in that skill set, and just start studying them. And in the beginning, this will sound counterproductive. In the beginning, it is about knowing the principles. It's about knowing the rules. And that's something I teach my students inside the real world. Is I show them the exact principles for social media, for anything they're trying to learn. I show principles. However, you get to a point where you kind of have to start breaking the rules, and you have to find your unique angles. So as an example, there's a guy called Ben Settle. He's like a OG of email marketing, super cool. And he breaks all the rules. He emails every single day. He promotes every single day. He doesn't care about open rates, doesn't care about any of that stuff like that everybody else seems to super care about. But he's gotten to that point because he does it every single day. He's learned from the masters, whoever he learned from, and then he ended up breaking the rules and he became the master. So when you're doing anything, it's about finding a few people you want to learn from, start noticing patterns. Like example with emails, okay, they have these types of subject lines. They have a very strong intro into the email to hook the person. And then they tell a story, and then they've got a call to action at the end. Why do they have that call to action at the end? Or with videos, okay, well, they've got a really strong hook. Then they have some kind of authority building thing, or they have some kind of lesson, and then they have a call to action. What are they promoting? Let me take a look at that sales page. And then over time, experience breeds confidence. So over time, after you keep seeing that and absorbing all that, you'll start developing your own system, your own style.
Wow, yeah, it's very interesting because you can see a lot of people try to promote only idea of the hard work, but they're skipping smart work, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about how just to deliver people information, that idea that not just about hard work, because it's always dedication, commitment, just let's go, but they forget about the main aspect about smart work. How do you think you, maybe through your like a teaching methods, can make people think and understand deeply, okay, guys, first smart and then hard? What do you think?
Yeah, so my material is designed specifically around teaching people once again the principles, but then getting them to take specific actions. And then as they're taking actions, we've built up support networks around them with various chats. Obviously, they can talk to me live as well, where I'll answer their questions in real time. So that helps that aspect. However, in my opinion, you need to work hard in the very beginning. So once you have a clear path, example, you join my campus, whatever, you're learning from you with boxing, you learn everything, you work hard on that, and then you start understanding what works and what doesn't work. And then that's where the work smart comes in. So once you understand, example, yesterday when we were boxing, you're teaching me the feet placement and all that stuff. Once we refine that, then I can start working hard on those key movements and ignore everything else. When it comes to business, it's identifying what actually gets me the results. Okay, I need to be doing outreach. I need to showcase that I'm an expert. Here's the type of content I need to be posting. And you work hard on that, and you identify those key variables, and you just double down on the stuff that actually works. Because most people, they think, oh, if I just work hard, well, what does work hard mean for you? Most people, it's, oh man, I've got to change my header picture on social media, and I need to, that's not hard work. You need to identify what actually, I call it money-making moves. So like what actually will bring money into the business, or what will actually grow your social media, and then work hard on those things. You don't need to work hard on a million different things like everybody else claims that you need to.
Yeah, and with another thing, you mentioned a lot of like insights, right? Already about the marketing, about the like a mailing. Look, I just, as I said you before, but I didn't tell you like a precise idea there, that I'd like you try to create, the like let's say the strategy, the strategy, because I run like a gym, right, in Slovakia, Bratislava. I want to give you right now 60 seconds. You can start to tell me something immediately, what first like comes to your mind, how to build a strategy for me, for example, to explode. All right, and other gym owners who watch this video, give me some, I don't know, top 5 things, what is necessary for me to build the best, the most visited gym in the Bratislava.
I mean, for you specifically, or anybody that has like an actual brand, as you do, I would literally start doing like street types of events, like literally just go out and start teaching people how to box IRL, and start getting people to come into the gym, find other, like maybe have some kind of free event where somebody can come and have a free boxing class, and start building up case studies and testimonials and tons of content of me training other people, and then start just hammering that across social media. And because a lot of people, they think of the money first. How can I make the money? They don't think about how can I get the proof of concept. So clearly for you, you could do that. I think that would actually be pretty cool. Seeing you out in the street, teaching people, that would be awesome. But if you have a gym and you just want to get more and more people in, you want to blow up, you need to, in that local population, start getting your name out there. So once again, start filming people in the streets, teaching them how to spar, how to move, all these different things. Start having like a once a month where anybody can come for free, or that they come and pay $1, and turn all that into content and start ramming it across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and get people to tag you. Literally just encourage the people at the gym, hey, tag me and I'll repost you. Like that would kill for your account. Yeah. But
yeah, it's a very interesting method, by the way.
Yeah.
If we're thinking more, for example, if you're a coach, right, you can just start to come to the people in the street and say, all right, man, I'll just help you to learn basics in the first 5 minutes.
And then film it.
And then you film it, you're doing their perfect edit or something, and definitely someone will pay attention what this guy is doing. And especially when these people are looking so crazy, if you start to like teach people who are not supposed to be like a boxer, some grandmaster or something like that, if you really can give your knowledge, it will like be so crazy for the social media too. All right, here is about another thing that will go to another topic there. I know that you're just one professor in the real world who were living with Tate brothers.
Right.
I know that you're just the one through all of them. and give me a little bit more about the experience. And maybe you saw something very interesting that like a change your mind, or maybe some insights or secret what basically you can steal and start to apply in your work, in your life.
One of the biggest things there's multiple actually, but one of them was they don't accept limitations of any kind. They believe if I genuinely put my mind and effort into this, that I can have anything. And that sounds very generic, but it's at an insane level. Like literally from getting a Bugatti to all the other cars they have, if you see where they started in Luton to where they're at now, like it's crazy. It's way beyond just the generic, you can have anything. Like no, they work their butt off. They work their butt off, and they're very conscious and intentional. That was another thing that I really learned from them, is being extremely conscious of how you're perceived, being extremely conscious of how you're moving about your day, the types of clothes you're wearing. They're hyper conscious about that versus most people. They just kind of aimlessly go through life. And then the next thing, and this has made me a lot of money, is every day you start at zero. So a lot of people ask me all the time, Dylan, why do you have so much motivation? Why do you work hard? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? It's because every day I wake up and I start out at zero. So yesterday you could have had like the best sales day you've ever had. You feel great. Most people feel great. And then today they'd probably take it a little bit easy. And maybe they take the entire weekend off versus them. Every single day that we were working, if we broke records the day before, everything was amazing. We trained, we did everything right. The second your eyes open the next day, you start out at zero. So now you've got to go train hard again. Now you've got to go and get more sales, more leads, whatever. So that's made me a lot of money because I apply that mindset to everything, not even just business. It's every single day that you wake up, you start out at zero, no matter how amazing the day before was, a month ago was, you start out at zero.
I think it's the most priceless advice to the old people, not just who's in the beginner, on the beginning of the journey. They have every day to search more opportunities, right? But also for people who already reached certain level, and they always have to be hungry, right? To just continue, because as we talked yesterday, you have no idea what's going to be with you tomorrow. We didn't know, maybe the business will be closed or something will happen. We know right now if you build only social media, it could fall tomorrow because some political situation, and you won't be able just to, to rely only on this thing. It could fall like so easy. But you have another meeting, very interesting one in your life. It was the meeting with the Mr. Beast. And you told me this story. I mean, not me. I just told online the story about this, but what is this like to meet with the Mr. Beast actually? About your feelings, about your emotional part. What's that for you?
I'm so desensitized to meeting like famous people. So I don't get like necessarily an emotional response from it, but I definitely, we were talking like you like to travel around, meet interesting people. So with Mr. Beast, I look at him as a human because at the end of the day, he is like, he's a totally normal person. So on my end, it was super cool meeting Mr. Beast, and we had some great conversations related to YouTube, related to just content in general, and it was a very down-to-earth guy, like, which was also, I guess from an emotional standpoint, maybe that kind of shocked me. Just a completely normal guy. He was very talkative, but at the same time, I could tell he didn't like getting lots of attention. And it was kind of funny. Like, I just happened to be at the airport at that exact day, and we were just sitting there working. I was in the real world, and I was just like, is that Mr. Beast? And so I just went up and talked to him. And this is another thing. Whenever I went up to talk to him, I didn't say, hey, Mr. Beast. I went up and said, hi, my name's Dillan Madden. Nice to meet you, Jimmy. That's his first name. And just sat down next to him, started talking to him. We had a good conversation, talked to him like a human being, because that's what he is. And then he was like, hey, do you want a picture? And he got my phone and took the picture that's all over social media now. So whenever you're meeting any kind of influential person, don't fanboy, fangirl, just don't do that. Because then you immediately get compartmentalized and, okay, it's one of those types of people. Like, know some of the basics, their actual name, not Mr. Beast, know their actual name, treat them like a human, just have a conversation, and then you would be surprised, like, how you can get somebody's WhatsApp number like that,
What do you think basically is the right direction to build a personal brand? Because Mr. Beast, basically, he built his personal brand on the entertainment. And I know you do not like this type of the personal brand building, right? You said mostly you'd prefer to see from people to give them value, right? So that's what you like, right? To see from the people, they're building their personal brand. the experts, and you'll have more respect, let's say, through the another type of the people. What do you think about him? He's maybe secret when you're considering him through your like a marketing, marketing mind. What do you think about him? Is his example of the personal brand is the like cool, or you'd like to change something and make him to become more serious, maybe?
No, I think on his end, he's a master of thumbnails and titles and just super creative ideas. And I see the game that he's playing in. He's obviously clearly the best at that. I couldn't make any tweaks to what he's doing. I mean, he's got everything down to a science, and behind the scenes, he's got his, Feastables company that seems to have a good intentions as well, like saving people from bad working conditions and all that other nonsense. And he also gives a lot of money to people as well, like not just for the videos, like he's got a lot of charity. So I couldn't really tweak anything that he's doing. And I on my end personally, I think like my approach to personal branding is completely different versus his. He's doing like the entertainment side. And there is value in that. I mean, if we're being honest, we understand that how most humans think. Most people just want to be entertained. So he is providing value in some other type of shape or form. There are people that literally they look forward to turning on one of his videos, and it gives them some kind of momentary happiness. So I can respect the game that he's in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you can see how when you're considering any successful case, for example, the personal brand, through the eyes, or it's funny, I love to watch this video, and it's so like hilarious or something. You're considering them as a person who used to build personal brands, and then you find some top 5 principles, and you can, for example, create or apply them in your own business brand. But what do you think it's the current personal brand, what his personal brand is like actually missing? Imagine that tomorrow he says, Dilan, we got a nice conversation together. Could you become my new manager? For example, I see you're building personal brand, a lot of cases, successful cases, already you helped build.
Yeah.
Will you be able to manage such a huge following guy like that?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like I would immediately start cutting out certain people on his team. I would stop promoting certain ideas that I think are very dangerous for children, like the LGBT, all that type of stuff. I'd cut that out. And from a production standpoint, he's doing very, very well. I would really just start curating some of the content that he's putting out there to push better ideas, because most of his audience is obviously kids. So I would use that to start inspiring people. As an example, a video he's doing right now is he's going to pay a guy $250,000 to lose 100 pounds. So they're going to film it. The guy's going to be training every day, eating the right food. I would be pushing way more videos like that. So like taking people that are out of shape, or taking people that, example, to help build a business, just and have that kind of content. And I think that's going to have a much more positive impact than like him running, I don't even know, it was like Hunger Games themed types of videos. Like that's cool, it's entertaining, but I would start pushing more positive messages because he's got a massive, massive audience.
It's very interesting because behind this idea also is a lot of value. Because when you're looking at someone who's in the very bad conditions, and when you see this person needs to cut a lot of kilograms, right? Yeah. You see, all right, he started to eat this type of the food, he stopped to do this type of the bad habits, and you already could apply this on yourself. So you can see, all right, I stop eating, carbs, in the first meal. Then I have to walk more. This how many thousands of the steps I have to accomplish every day. Because that a lot of people looking still for the easiest way. We know the easiest, the fastest way. And I think it's the most, like a harmful thing for the a long-term growing. You have to always identify a few steps, as you said, to build yourself there. But all right, we spoke there about the Tate brothers. We spoke there about Jimmy, like Mr. Beast there. But who's actually the most impressive person you ever met? Maybe not famous, but who's that?
Very interesting question. I don't know. I've met so many interesting people that impress me in different ways, for sure. Like Andrew and Tristan impressed me in certain ways. I've had various mentors, some of them aren't even on social media, that have impressed me over the years. My dad, my grandfather. So yeah, it's definitely just a whole group of a bunch of people that have impressed me in various different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's very interesting because in the martial arts, people always look for the image of the favorite boxer or something, and we can see how people in the martial arts also looking for the easiest way, like in the marketing, right? They want to become strong now, they want to become fast now, and they forget about main aspects, right? That how you have to very slow, step by step to build yourself. I'm a big fan of the comprehensive approach, right? That when you just start to look at your body through the prism of the health, anatomy, and only then you apply this in the martial arts. And I think this type of the techniques usable everywhere, in the marketing, in the business, everywhere, when you have to just see the whole image of the thing. I wanna ask you the very, also important question, I think, for a lot of youth, because exists opinion there that you always have to look for the very rich people around you, millionaires.
Yeah.
Like a network is very important. And what the basically secret behind building this type of the network with the millionaires around you? What's the main thing?
Just find a way to be useful. I think networking in general is kind of useless, to be honest, unless it serves some kind of purpose or you're at a certain level in life. Like if you're a total beginner, you don't have any success of your own, you sitting around just wanting to smoke cigars with other people and eat food, that's not actual networking. I can see some value in being around like-minded people, but to be valuable to millionaires and people that are successful, you want to find somebody that you like the overall quality of their life. Example, let's say you find somebody, they've got a good wife and good kids and they've run a successful business. Cool, awesome. Well, start finding ways to take initiative and be of value. And I mean, that's what I did way back in the day, is I just started finding ways, these people need tweets, these people need emails, I can make a graphic for this person. And just find ways to take initiative, because most people, and I get this all the time, hey, Dylan, I need a job, or hey, Dylan, you super inspire me, how can I work for you? You're not going to bypass that filter if you're sitting there approaching successful people that way. Every single day, and I'm sure you get this all the time, people are just reaching out trying to take. So if you find a way to just find somebody, provide value, you don't expect anything in return up front, you take initiative, you're always dependable, you're always there, I mean, that's going to take care of the networking aspect. And then before you know it, maybe they'll bring you onto the team. Now you're getting hands-on experience, you start making more money. You never know what happens. And then as you start leveling up as a person, then sure, start flying around like how you do it. I do it as well. Fly to this country, meet some cool people, some interesting people. You start building up a network of friends. So yeah, that's how you should do it.
Yeah, definitely you have to be very flexible there because, I always used to travel to people, especially in the martial arts. People are so lazy to move, so lazy to do something, right? But you and me, when we see interest in person, we immediately could fly. We immediately could build a connection, right?
Easy,
we're looking for these opportunities, but some people, they are not maybe so hungry, or money, followers number have changed them so much.
Yeah.
But another thing about mostly a technical problem, of a lot of young editors, marketing specialists, For example, I receive every day messages on my Instagram from the potential editors, and they ask me a question. I'd like to make edit of the couple of videos for you, hire me or do something, and even I don't need it. For example, I don't go usually for the podcast, right? I don't usually go to, record this type of the talking content. It's a very big problem for the youth, right? They really want to reach some person, but they have no idea how to do it. They send the same messages all the time. Can you advise them something? What they have to do? Because you're the young guy, 16 years old, you really have skill, but your page has 10 followers.
Yeah.
But you're very maybe talented, and maybe he will really bring me something. But when I see, oh, damn, he's 15 years old, maybe he doesn't have experience or something like that. What's your advice to these people? Because they're so much dedicated, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of people out there. Even the cringe DMs I get, I still respect that they took the time to sit down and send out a DM, but you need to stand out through actually taking some time and identifying how you can clearly help that person. Too many people will just copy-paste the same DM over and over and over and over again and send it out to 10, 20, 30 people, that exact DM. So you need to identify, example, if I went to your page, I would look over your page, I would go to your website, I would check this, I would check your YouTube channel, and I would find specific areas that I could actually be of value, and I would help solve those problems, and then I could pivot that into maybe becoming your video editor. And so it takes a little bit more effort, but you actually get paid versus most of these people, they just, oh, cool, this guy has an Instagram video or page, let me edit his videos. And they try to just take. Or they don't show a showcase of other work that they've done. Example, if they are a video editor, on their Instagram page, they should have a highlight. So in the stories, highlights of work that they've done for other people or just examples. So there's so many different moves that if you just take a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, you'll stand out. So for anybody that's watching this that keeps sending out DMs and they're struggling, stop copy pasting the same DM. Instead, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, actually look into the person's YouTube, their Instagram videos, their sales page, just any little thing you can find, and just provide some kind of value up front. Because as an example, if somebody reached out to me, oh, Dylan, hey, I noticed on your blog, Common Collected, I saw that this link was broken. I'd be, oh, wow, I appreciate it. And then that instantly builds rapport between me and them. And then we'll start talking, and then they can pitch me on their idea. Versus most people, like I was saying, they just reach right out and they're like, I want to edit your videos, hire me. I'm like, no, screw you, get out, get away.
Yeah. Here is also one more life hack I think works, especially when I want to build like a partnership with someone, when I already see this person maybe build himself. When I see the guy already, he posts super crazy edits.
Exactly.
It looks so great. I see his pages already like grew up for a little. I can see this guy knows he made his videos work very well.
Yeah.
And I think I can listen to him, right? I can just, speak with him or something. But after real world, I think one big thing here came up, so we can see how a lot of youth, they start to work with the huge companies. That's a very big, a pivotal moment, I think, in the business. After exactly the real world becoming a very famous, we can see how a lot of young guys who are very dedicated and smart, they learned, some skill set, right? And now they know how to apply it to the big companies, and big companies growing, and they could compete with a bigger companies. It's a very interesting thing. And I think I'd like to ask you a last question there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very interesting, and I think it will also show yourself to the people through the personal perspective. Tell me, how do you want basically to be remembered by people?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would like to be remembered as a person that was always generous, always kind, always consistent, and be, I guess, a living proof that you can actually be a good person and win. Too many people think that you have to manipulate people and be super selfish and all this other stuff for you to be able to win, and that's just simply not true. I want to show people that you can actually be a good person. You can learn how the world works. You can become assertive, and you can just work hard, be consistent, and everything will work out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we gave people a lot of value, a lot of advice, and you just basically shared with them what you never shared to. They never knew this information about you. And to the others too, I'd like to say that Dylan is also a human being, and he has also such a generous guy. And I highly recommend everyone from my audience who watched this video, who's interested in marketing, come to his page, what he look at what he does, analyze his content, also join real world, and get knowledge from there. And we'll see you later.